LETSGO, let's go, let's go. LETSGO, let's go. We're getting the edge with your mind, part 2. Let's go. What up, my butthole breathers? I'm so excited to be here for today for part 2. Getting my words mixed up. I always think faster than I talk, so sometimes we get the words mumbled jumbled. And like I said, if you've been a long time listener binging the podcast, English isn't my best subject. I did not become a doctor to be good at English, so you never know what's going to come out of my mouth and what surprise you're going to hear. This isn't scripted. This isn't paid for. This is just me trying to help you out and be your doctor friend and let you know what's going on and how to help you be your best self. Because, I mean, you deserve to move better, live better, and freaking feel better, right? Am I right? So if you haven't yet, put this on pause if you haven't and go back and listen to part 1 because they go in order for a reason. This is part 2 of getting the edge with your mind. And it is getting uncomfortable. Because you're going to have to do that to make any improvements. And so many of us live in this zone in the middle. It's fine. It's not very uncomfortable though, because we crave, the safety of not being uncomfortable. But man, you're not getting the highs, the peaks of your potential to your success. But that being said, you're not getting the lows and lows. But that's boring. You only get one life. We need to grow and expand. And that takes work. And that takes being okay with getting uncomfortable. And what I mean by this is I need to know, all my people out there, I don't think we celebrate enough at all. Not even close. What do we celebrate right now? Marriage, babies, and your birthday occasionally, but usually adults only celebrate 40, 50, the big ones. Everything else just kind of gets blown off. And it's really? Those are the only things we're choosing to celebrate in life? That being said, don't come hate at me. I'm not saying we don't need to celebrate those. Of course we need to celebrate those. Those are amazing, great things. But there also are so many other amazing, great things that you should also be celebrating throughout your life. And I preach and I truly believe it needs to be the little things. And these little things that you even do small celebrations for, even if it's just by yourself, which is what I do half the time, it becomes the big things and makes the big celebrations even bigger and better. And not only that, but it really does change your brain chemistry and the hormones and dopamine and endorphins release those feel-good hormones, which is then going to change your stress level and which then changes your pain. Everything goes hand in hand. Like I said before, my techniques and everything, how I practice. Yes, of course, I got to give credit to all these people, and I'm still learning from, who do amazing work with the manual component. And, there's some incredible doctors out there, and we all can lift each other up and push each other higher. And there's room for everyone at the top. And I'm so grateful to learn from them. And then what I have done over the years, especially that has pushed my way in with being able to be a top-notch concierge doctor, and they call me an industry disruptor, is addressing the stress. It's a real thing. It's not going away. We need to figure it out. And then the mindset and the brain work, which I've always framed it as brain work because it's fun. So getting uncomfortable, celebrating. I mean, when's the last time you celebrated something? Type in the comments. I would love to know. And this is something I encourage, and this is a step in the process with my clients. Okay. So we are going to celebrate the little things. What have you done lately that you worked for that you've kind of accomplished? That's not maybe the major goal. So I had a client, they were saying they booked the appointment. They've been sitting on it for 3 years, wanting to use me as their doctor and hearing their teammates and everyone use me. And finally they reached out and made it a priority. They made themselves a priority. And I was like, okay, well, how are you going to celebrate it? And they looked at me I had 5 heads. They're like, pay for the appointment. And I'm like, well, that's just going to get your hair done and get gas in your car, obviously. But what are you going to do? Because you took that action. You sat on it for so long. And now, even in one visit, you're telling me that you feel so much better. And there's so much more to this than just the body work and the activations and everything else we need to do to have you reach your goals. So they decided they were going to go with their wife on a walk that night, leave their phones at home, and just talk about some of the positive things going on in their life. I mean, amazing. It can be that simple. I had another client that we were working on I had set up a team for them, and one of the things they're working on is like their hormones and everything, and they had some pain and some leaking and everything else, and they have been prioritizing for 8 weeks straight lifting 2 to 3 times a week, even if it's only 15 minutes. And not only, like, that's still a big deal. Have you ever tried to, like, I mean, it's a workout. So this is what I wanted to give you the example of little things and doing little celebrations. So what did they do? They went and got their favorite coffee from their favorite coffee shop and just sat in there and listened to their favorite podcast, which I should ask them. I hope that was me. And they were like, it was just so relaxing. Like, I didn't answer work. I wasn't around anyone else. So that was really exciting. We had another client at the clinic. They like got to deadline of their work and they worked really hard, and they booked a series of appointments with the team at the office because they're like, okay, we got to prioritize myself, because if I accomplish that much, not having y'all in my life, they had heard another thing I was talking about, celebrating, that I can do even better if I have like the team surrounding me. Yes. These are what I mean to celebrate. You can celebrate your kid's first day of school. Cool. Have a good glass of wine, or like all put your phones away and have a movie night, or maybe all do a family walk, or whatever it is. Maybe go to bed at 7:30. That's how I celebrate sometimes. Sometimes it's like bath and bed early, of like shutting it down, shutting off the computer, shutting off the phone. If you're watching on YouTube, which I highly suggest so you can see all the antics, you will see that like I'm peeling a little bit of my forehead because I haven't remembered the last time I got like sun on my head, because I usually always have a hat on. But we were, speaking of celebrating, in the British Virgin Islands with one of my best friends ever, and celebrating her. She's been buying into her company for the past 3 years to be partial owner. And the owner of the 6 people buying in gave them all, they could pick a trip. I don't know the exact parameters, but she picked the British Virgin Islands, and she was like, will you and Josh come with us to celebrate? What an honor, like, to be invited. And obviously, yes, we'll go. Absolutely. But like, someone knows that you love and support them and want to celebrate with you. Like, that is so cool. And we need to do so much more of that. Maybe take your best friend to dinner. Like, when they've had something, one of my favorite things to do, if you know me, is send you flowers or write a thank you card. I mean, it doesn't have to cost money, but we were down there celebrating her and all her hard work. Like, it's years, and you only live one life. Like, that's years of your life she'll never get back, but like has been such a hard accomplishment, something that she's wanted. She loves it. She's so good at it. And it was just really cool to be able to do that. So it can be big things. Book that vacation. Hell, I mean, like we said, there's a ticking clock that we don't know, but you can do everything in your power to help heal yourself. And we need to, because like I said in the last one, no one's coming to save you. You're going to have to do it yourself and make yourself a priority. And what's it going to cost you to not do that starting today? And part of this, to be like, the difference between good and great is this stuff, the brain work, the stress management. And that's what's going to really change your game and give you the edge. So there's also a friend we celebrated, we went to their favorite spot for dinner. They're cancer free. And that was months and months of treatment. And my husband and I, every Sunday before they got, usually the chemo on Monday, would send them a funny video of, I don't even know, something that happened, something inside jokes. Because we were like, what can we do? I'm going to start crying. Oh my God, this series is making me cry. What can we do that will help take their mind off what they're about to go through and what they're going through in their life? What will make them laugh and smile and just check out for a minute, or that they can review the video back? And it was hilarious. We came up with some funny stuff, but like, what can you do to celebrate not only yourself, but those around you? Because you all are going to lift each other up and make each other better. And like I said, when you start celebrating and these endorphins are released and these hormones, and like you're doing it more on a regular basis, like you can find something every day to celebrate a little bit, or at least a thing a week. Once you start doing this, it's called neuroplasticity, is the change of the brain. Like our brains have that capability, and it's phenomenal. And you can literally re-hardwire your brain like a computer. You can have the new MacBook laptop instead of the 1998 version. You are the one that's going to have to do the work, though. They can't just like place it in there. You have to do this work over and over and over and focus on these things. So like, one, First, in the first podcast, find your weakness, part 1. Now in this one, getting uncomfortable. Like, are you celebrating? Are you able to be uncomfortable and sit and acknowledge those things of self-sabotaging or whatever it may be? And I challenge you, celebrate something. I would love, love, love to know what it is. So please message me on Instagram at Dr. Audrey Lance, or in the comments, or on TikTok, and save and share this with a friend. Like, send to your people, your posse, your other butthole breathers, like your family. And maybe you can all start something beautiful that you're celebrating each other, or acknowledging, sending those nice words, like celebrating each other. We all just need a little bit more love, right? And then we're all going to have a little less stress and a little less pain. Mic drop. Toodaloo. Stay tuned for part 3.